Hi, welcome back. I've washed my hands and I must remember not to touch my face. What I'm going to do now is actually make some bread. Fortunately, I already have a bread maker. Inside this bread maker goes a pan, and inside this pan goes a paddle. This fits in there, and the idea of that is that spins round and round and round, and so it will do all the hard work in my bread making. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add my wet ingredients. This is a measuring jug. I've measured out 1 cup of water, and the water goes in first. This is 2 tablespoons of butter, which I've melted, so that I'm now putting in as well. The main ingredient for bread is obviously flour, made from wheat grown in the river civilizations. Well, the Egyptian river civilizations. That is all of my flour. That was 3 cups of flour, which I'd already measured out. To that, I'm also going to add, this is the odd one, my instructions say 1 or less teaspoon. So I'm going to get a teaspoon of salt. It's strange that there's salt in there, but I'm going to put the salt, and I'm going to actually not put it in the middle, I'm going to put it at the side. There's a reason of doing that. I'll explain it in a second. I'm then going to add 2 tablespoons of dry milk. So this is actual milk powder. This will mix with the water and make milk. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons, so I've changed it to the other measuring spoon, which is a tablespoon. I'm going to put 1. And 2 tablespoons of milk in. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar in as well. So that's 1 tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to check my recipe again. Water, check. Tablespoons, butter, check. Salt, check. Milk, check. Sugar, check. And now we come to the magic ingredient. You're probably very familiar with tortillas, and you're obviously very familiar with bread. The difference between tortillas and bread is this magic ingredient. This is yeast. Yeast is basically what puts the bubbles into bread and makes bread build up. This, check with your glasses, I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of dry yeast in. Now, I've made a little well in the flour. The salt I put down at the side because the salt will actually kill the yeast, and I don't want that to happen. What I want first is the yeast to get mixed up in everything first, and then the heat of the machine will do it. Those are all the ingredients. If I didn't have a bread making machine, I could mix them all up with my hands and then leave them to rise. The actual dough will rise. And then once it's risen, I would put it in the oven and bake it. The magic of this machine is I'm just going to close it. I'm going to select the size of my loaf. So that means I'm going to pick a 1.5 pound loaf. My crust colour, I actually like dark. When it comes out, it isn't that dark. We'll see. And that's it. Start. And you can already hear it turning. Just for the video, I'm going to lift the lid and you can see the paddle moving it round, and it's starting to mix the ingredients. It's also starting to heat up. The point of it heating up is because the yeast, which I keep in the fridge, is now warming up and it will come alive. I'm making bread, and I don't think I touched my face once through the whole recording.